No, watch this movie. It really makes you feel like you're in a dream. And that's kind of the magic of Nick Cassavetes. It really is. The only thing to compare it to is like French New Wave meets David Lynch by way of Gaspar Noé. Those are all movie filming things with a little bit of Seth Rogen mixed in there to take the edge on. You know?
Yes, so it goes down a little easier.
Yeah.
It really is like a dream. It's just like a bunch of shit that's happening, and then like all of a sudden you're in this other place doing this other thing. It doesn't really connect, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we try to let the listeners of this podcast know what is going on in this movie, but it's incredibly hard to do it without experiencing it yourself.
Yeah. It's very experiential. It's like trying to tell somebody what the inside of the Louvre is like.
Welcome to the Fantasy Cast podcast, where three grown men pass the time by telling each other their deepest, darkest fantasies. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to talking about the scene where the guy shits his pants in this movie. I just feel like there's a lot there. I want to spend a good 20 minutes on that scene.
I just finished it 6 minutes ago.
Oh, good. So it's fresh.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of notes.
I pulled up the Wikipedia.
So this is the Fantasy Cast podcast. I'm here with Mike and John. And today we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to review a movie, the erotic classic, The Other Woman, Nick Cassavetes' picture starring Leslie Mann, Cameron Diaz, and what the fuck's that other woman's name?
Kate Upton.
Kate Upton, that's right. And Nicki Minaj is in it too for a hot minute. She steps into the picture to get a cup of coffee. Basically, this movie is about three women who realize that they're all sleeping with the same guy and he's cheating on all of them. And they get together and plot a revenge against him. You know, very steamy movie. What are some vibes that you guys felt while watching this picture?
I thought Leslie Mann was fucking nuts. Like, she should have been fired from the movie.
How come?
She'd like scream the entire movie. I don't like her.
Yeah, she was on a 10 the entire time.
Not a huge fan of her face.
The thing you need to know about Nick Cassavetes is that his dad is this loser named John Cassavetes. This guy no one respected in Hollywood. Been kicked around his entire life with good reason. His whole thing was let the actors do what they want. And he would make these movies and people would watch it and and even actors watch these movies and they're like, this could use a lot of editing. I really wish someone would reel in these actors. So Nick Cassavetes, just to give you a frame of reference here, a little film history lesson. Nick Cassavetes is his son. So it seems like he's taking a couple. This is an homage to his father, obviously, where he let Amy Mann run around and do whatever she wanted.
Yeah.
And Cameron Diaz, who seemed to be trying to lay back in the cut, trying to be respectful, who's been in a bunch of movies, and Amy Mann is trying to get as much as she can out of it.
Yeah, she's really trying to squeeze all the juice out of this fruit.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's get into the plot. The movie starts out with a hot makeout scene between Cameron Diaz and the main dude. I don't even know his name. Some hard European name to pronounce. But they're getting hot and heavy in the hallway.
Nikolai Coster-Waldau.
That's his name?
I believe, yeah.
Really quick, I had a hard time focusing on this movie. It was very hard for me to focus. There's a lot going on in my life. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you guys were able to focus more, not me. But
no, I had to watch it. I watched it I cut it in 5 pieces because
I got a lot going on. And in the beginning, there's a montage of Cameron Diaz meeting this Eastern European actor, I guess. And I swear to God, for 1 second, I thought one of the shots of the montage in the beginning was Harry Connick Jr.
You think so?
I am 10 minutes in. I'm like, wait, was she also dating Harry Connick Jr.? I think there might be a shot where it's just Harry Connick Jr. is just standing in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, basically.
Well, like I said, I had a hard time focusing.
The movie kicks off. She's getting hot and heavy with this dude in a fancy schmancy hotel room. Both of them clearly have money. They're like, oh, shouldn't we? Then he ends up sealing the deal, and it's heavily implied that they had anal sex. And then the next couple of shots is of them, like in Central Park, and him giving her flowers and being wined and dined, and him just really laying it on. And Cameron Diaz and this Eastern European man are really connecting in a meaningful way. Mike, you said you thought you saw Harry Connick Jr. pop up.
I could have sworn it was him in one of the shots. Maybe they shot a little bit with Harry Connick Jr. He would drop out for scheduling reasons. I'm not quite sure what happened, but maybe I'm mistaken. Like I said, there's been people, I don't want to get into it, but it's been a lot. We can talk about it later. But yeah, Cameron Diaz, let's cut the shit. Cameron Diaz starts going out with this guy. Then it cuts at some point, and you realize that this man, this Eastern European actor with typical actor hair that's kind of short but longish and just parted down the middle, so it looks like a penis, I guess. It's a common Hollywood standard man haircut to have.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean when I say it looks
like
kind of like a okay?
It's like when a guy's got a really good head of hair, they just go with this standard center part, and the hair is probably like a couple inches, like 3 or 4 inches long. Really easy to maintain, replicate.
Yeah. Okay, and then it cuts to a scene. You realize that he's married to Amy Mann. Oh, he's cheating on her.
Yeah.
Jesus, we got to get.
Can I just say,
yes,
that the Amy Mann comes across immediately as just dumb as shit. Did you guys notice it? Pick up on that too?
Yeah.
The way they play
you guys know that
it's flattering.
You guys know that it's Leslie Mann, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Leslie Mann.
I thought it was the singer. The singer-songwriter, Amy Mann? That's somebody different?
Magnolia, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find
that's Amy Grant. Right?
I know there's a singer-songwriter.
That's Amy Mann.
I just assumed that she was the one in this picture.
She wrote that song with Eminem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stan. So anyways, the way they played her at first, she comes across as just being dumb as shit. She's like, I'll sign whatever, put whatever in front of me. I can't read any, can't make head nor tails of this like 2-page contract.
Housewife. With no, do they really, have, oh wait, they don't have children either.
No, she's just like, she's doing her best Stepford wife impression. And he's just like clearly walking all over her and, treating her like absolute dog shit. They have no kids. That's part of the tension. She's like, oh, I was with this guy for so long and he kept putting off having kids, blah, blah, blah.
He is her world. Now.
Yeah. She lives and breathes. And we find out later that she's also very much wrapped up in his business career. But, we'll get into that in a little bit. So we see that he's also married to Amy Mann, right? Cuts back to Cameron Diaz in the office. She's in her office and Nicki Minaj comes in. I didn't know Nicki Minaj had such a nasal voice.
Yeah, the voice is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
What does it sound like? Can you do an impersonation of it?
She's like, she's from New York, so she says, now I don't...
She's like Long Island or something.
She's like,
I don't like to sleep with a guy before I have my coffee. And if I want to give you coffee, sometimes the coffee is better than sex.
Yeah, it's just like that. That wasn't bad. Yeah, that was startling too.
Yeah, I didn't know she was going to be in this picture. I'm like, oh shit.
People claim that she has a fake butt.
Yeah.
So she's in this movie as well as Cameron Diaz's secretary.
She's like, Cam, I hear you've been dating Mr. Perfect. How's things going? And Cam's like, oh my God, they're going so well. He's going to meet my dad and it's going to be amazing. And this Eastern European guy with the haircut is going to be I really think like this is the one. The next scene is her in the car with this Eastern European guy. Something comes up where his like wife needs him back at the house on the same night that he's supposed to meet her dad out for drinks. And he lies and says, "Honey, my plumbing exploded and there's like 2 feet of water in my basement. I hate to do this, but I have to bail. I eat the dinner with your dad." Cameron Diaz is super pissed off. She's like, "Get the fuck, let me out of the car." And she goes to meet with her dad anyways. What do you guys think about her dad, played by Don Johnson?
I couldn't have thought of a better casting option for this role. Don Johnson plays Cameron Diaz's divorced father, who is into young women, and he seems to be kind of into sex workers, it seems. He casually mentions that to his daughter a couple times. Young people, maybe even a little tinge of human trafficking involved in it. Kind of a creepy guy, and I think Don Johnson is charming enough that he can pull it off, because everyone knows him as a Hollywood playboy and sexual predator. So just the way he acts and who he is, it was just a perfect. So Cameron Diaz, maybe I'll pick up the ball here, tell the story. So all the weight's not on your shoulders. Because you do so much for the podcast, you do so much for us. I don't want you to do all the heavy lifting. You do the editing, you do the mixing, you do it all.
It's because I need control over the project.
I mean, I would love to help, but I got my hands are full right now. I'm busy. I got like not only work stuff, but like a couple other things.
You got a lot going on in your life.
A couple other things coming at me I can get into later on. He's like, "Wow, it sounds like you really like this guy." She's pissing and moaning about this idiot she's going out with. Pissing and moaning. He's like, he basically gives her the signs off on her going to go pursue this guy. Cameron,
he wants her to dress up, fix his plumbing.
He recommends that.
Yeah,
he's telling her she should dress up like a plumber and go fuck.
Yeah,
that's her dad saying
okay,
that.
yeah. Because I know. Okay, well, I was going to say next scene, she gets an Uber driver. She shows up in like a sexual plumber's outfit with a plunger, implying that there'll be some sort of taboo activity happening with the plunger and him. Maybe they discussed earlier on. They never got around to. Shows up to Amy Mann's house. Amy Mann opens the door. Now, John says, "I don't like Amy Mann's face." I say, I think she's a charming face. I find her a charming person. And you know what? I knew a lot of questions. There's a lot of body stuff in this movie, a lot of stuff, a lot of different physiologies and a lot of different features of women specifically. And I just want to say that I think it's safe to say that I could fall in love with almost anyone if the circumstances are right, man, woman, no matter how they look, what their body looks like, what color their skin is.
I think she's attractive. I was a little annoyed.
No one asked you, John. No one asked you, John.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
Hey, John, what would you do to Mike? What would you do to Mike?
I would slap Mike around right now. Smash his little Coke in his face. Go ahead.
Okay. Roughly she shows up. All right. And Amy Mann is there, and she's like, oh my God, Cameron Diaz embarrasses the shit out of herself. She's dressed up. She knocks over a giant vase in front of their yard because she's so nervous and humiliated that while she realizes that Amy Mann opened the door, she realizes that he's actually married. And she gives an excuse like, "I was actually supposed to be down the street at such and such street." Amy Mann's like, "That street doesn't exist. What the hell's going on here?" This woman flips over, knocks over a giant cauldron of dirt that's in the front of their house, shatters to a million pieces. Cameron Diaz runs away, goes back to Nicki Minaj and tells her that this guy's married, the SOB. Oh my God. You know what I mean? And Nicki Minaj is like, maybe you should break up. Maybe you should break up their marriage. Mickey Minaj is like, I broke up my marriage and another person's marriage, and now we married as fuck right now.
That's right.
And I was like, wow, this is crazy. She's like, this is New York City. You take what you want. And she said, my mama always told me something. Nice guys finish last. So you get that D or you get out of my face and I won't respect you or something like that. Is that right?
That's basically what she says, yeah.
All right, John, you go. What happened?
I don't remember any of that. What was next was Amy Mann figures out that she wasn't a plumber, right? Like Cameron Diaz had to tell her that he was cheating. She comes into her office.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Amy Mann finds out where she works. She goes to her phone. This is when just really shows that she's a complete spaz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it
like she shows up to the office.
For the next hour and a half
in the lobby with that big dog.
Yeah.
Just like
I hated that dog too.
Geeking out.
This is when you, as a viewer, realize like the doors of the car are not going to. They're child locked. They're lock proof. You're in that car. You're in that hot parking lot for the next 4 hours, and you may not live to see the end of it.
Right. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to.
I just wonder if that was like a Homeward Bound situation where they had to go through like 7 different dogs because no one took care of it and it died. You know what I mean? Happens in most.
They just
happens in most movies where like they have multiple dogs that just pass away because no one's feeding it and shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Or just it gets fried under those lights.
Yeah. What? And then they eventually go out for drinks, right? She forces her to go out for drinks.
God, that was boring.
Like Amy Mann is having a complete fucking breakdown because her whole world is fucked up because she's like, how could my husband cheat on me? He's like everything to me. Pouring her heart to Cameron Diaz. Cameron's like, get the fuck out of my face. Like that's your problem.
Cameron doesn't care.
But basically, she just like trying to placate her to get her the fuck out of her office because she's making a scene.
All right. So at this point, that's when I stopped it first time. Started it again like 3 hours later. Was like half asleep, and then it went.
What'd you do between?
I took a nap and then got up, and I was just kind of out of it and turned it back on. And then I just remember Cameron Diaz asking,
"Did you sweat a lot when you took a nap?"
No, it was really cold. But I remember Cameron Diaz asking Amy Mann if she shaves her pussy or not.
Cameron Diaz asked Amy Mann if she shaves
if she's been cleaning up her vagina.
Why does she ask that?
Because she thinks that's why the husband might be going after a different woman. So she talks about shaving and taking, when's the last time you shaved your legs? That kind of. Do you remember this scene?
Damn, that's such a mean thing to say to someone.
Yeah, but that was so there's something happened between there.
Yeah.
Right? They go out to drinks and Amy Mann is getting just like absolutely shit-faced. And I was reading up on the trivia of the movie, and in an interview they were saying that Amy Mann was doing edibles during that scene and actually drinking, so she was actually crossfaded during that scene at the bar. And that's when Cameron Diaz is like, you gotta suck it up, bitch. You gotta get your fucking shit together. Stop bothering me with this. She was giving her like that tough love. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Cameron reveals to Amy Mann that she's fucked her husband like 50 times.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Now it wasn't clear. It wasn't made clear of sweat by any of the characters. Yeah, or implied in any way. And this is one of the big questions I had: is did the husband come 50 times?
That's a lot of intimacy.
Times. Yeah, but did he come 50 times? Is the thing that I want to know. But that is
I'd say 75%.
It's a lot of sweat.
If you're having an affair, you're probably like rushing 40, around, don't have time to actually rope fully.
50 times is a lot for someone. Yeah. These people are in their mid 40s. That's like a couple months of them fucking.
Pretty serious.
Yeah. So she said she got dug out by him.
I mean, what's going on at home? Why did he stray away? Is it his nature? Is it because Amy Mann isn't taking care of stuff? I mean, that doesn't shave. This is like the mind of a child who would say that.
Well,
Cameron Diaz says that in all earnesty. What kind of what's going on here with this person's brain?
So they get shit faced and go back to Cameron Diaz's house.
You can call it that.
And you can call it that. Yeah, Cameron Diaz's house is just sterile as hell. It looks like it's a bathhouse, like a Russian bathhouse. Everything is like white and clean. And they have a little like sleepover thing. They get like, they dress up.
My mind here. This movie was
shit. They, like,
this is like
dressed up, they drink
Mulholland Drive.
wine.
Most of this movie is just actually a dream from that night. Do you think so?
You think so? I think it's the whole movie is just a teen woman fantasy.
Go on. What do you mean?
You have the sleepover. They dress up in all of Cameron Diaz's clothes. They drink wine. They give each other makeovers. They dish about boys. In this case, the husband. And I think that's just a sleepover fantasy.
It is just a sleep. Because later on, Amy Mann's brother, this guy who looks like
I said he was played by Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy.
You think he is?
He looks like a.
He's not, but
he looks like a normal person who like walked on the set.
He looks like a country singer that got in a movie, but apparently he's an actor.
He looks like a country sausage that was left out in the sun for a little too long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's kind of got like cross eyes.
I was like, why did they pick
very
this
strange
guy
looking man
to hook up with Cameron Diaz? Anyways, she hooks up with
after the scene.
Amy Mann's brother, which is something that like when girls are having a sleepover, they would definitely
think about
flirt with that idea. You know what I mean? Like one of the girls,
break into the guy's
brother's room, and like tease him if he had
steals
if
underwear
he had a friend over. You know, they would be teasing each other from room to different ends of the house.
Yes.
Wait, they hooked up that quickly?
Exactly.
No, it's a long.
Okay, that's all right.
No, they're doing a little dance. Yeah, they're doing a little dance, but eventually it happens. In the scene where Amy Mann is crossfaded, the note that I wrote, because she's doing the most again. She's like, her performance is like on a 10 at all times. It's really hard to watch. I said she needed to be taken somewhere, put down. At this point, she just needs a friend.
If something's not right with her, she seems something's wrong with Amy Mann's character.
And at the sleepover, John, is when they start talking about how Cam's like, well, you got to keep your shit tight down there. You know, you got to shave
like
a little thick.
40 minutes into the movie, right? Did either of you laugh at all in those 40 minutes
during this movie?
What part?
I laughed once when Leslie Mann said that she likes Kate Upton being in the group because it brings up their group average of attractiveness. I thought it gave me a little chuckle.
I didn't think it was a comedy. See, I thought it was. I thought I was walking into a comedy, and then I realized that it was something. It was just something else. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Well, regardless of how you perceive it, it's definitely super erotic. You know what else I noticed is when the dog. So Amy Mann's dog came over to Cameron Diaz's house. When it shits on the floor, it shits on her floor. The shit is CG.
Oh, really?
I didn't see that scene.
You know when the dog's like, they're like, she's like, get your dog off of my furniture.
Did you have the extended cut?
No, they woke. I mean, maybe I don't know, but they woke up. She woke up the next morning and like hung over in Cameron Diaz's house with the dog still there. And the dog takes a shit on the floor. It's a really quick scene, but the shit is CGI.
Was it good or bad CGI?
It was bad because I noticed it. Like,
oh god, I hate bad CGI.
It's how hard can it be to get a dog to shit on the floor? You know what I mean?
Get the lighting right.
Just film that motherfucker. Just follow it around. Put it in a green screen room. Follow it around so it takes a shit.
You keep saying this movie was really erotic. What turned you on about it the most?
It's the intimate.
What made those gears turn? What made your loins throb? You know what I mean? What got your motor going?
I don't think it was any one thing, but it was a couple different fantasies intertwined that just was ignited in me. So you have the revenge fantasy, right? They got to get back at this dude.
Mm-hmm.
You have the friendship building fantasy, which is also really interesting. You have the playboy fantasy of this guy, this Eastern European guy, who's just a lot of things intertwined. But I think the thing that got me the most turned on to this movie was the friendship, building of the friendship between these three women.
That's nice.
Closeness the bond that they formed, because that's forever.
That's the scary thing, is that it happens a couple times in the movie where it seems like things are they're gonna abandon getting revenge on this Eastern European actor, and that makes you feel sad, because it's like, are they gonna hang out again? They seem to all come from different worlds, and their one unifying thing is torturing, yet lusting after this guy, even while they're planning all these revenge situations where they punish him anally, mentally, and at the end financially and psychologically destroy him. Without him there, they wouldn't have anything. You're almost like, you don't want it to end, because of their friendship is so strong, their dynamic is so good. You have the businesswoman, you have the neurotic home woman, and then you have Kate Upton. You know what I thought was interesting is that Leslie Mann, is it Leslie or Amy?
It's Leslie.
Okay, Leslie Mann's character keeps going on and on about how attractive Kate Upton is, which I thought was really annoying. You know what I mean? And Claire Danes does not even care about this person. I don't even think they make eye contact.
No, she treats her like absolute dog shit.
Yeah, she doesn't even look at her. And is Leslie Mann doing that because... Why did they do this? You know what I mean?
Well, let's...
She's just like, oh my God, she's so hot. Oh, going on and on and on. So basically, she's like getting like flirty and grabby with her while they're like dancing. And another thing that I thought was interesting is the brother is building a house like on the beach of like Cape Cod or some shit like that. And him and Claire Danes are looking out at the water, and they're like, "What a view! Isn't this great?" And then he takes her to an unfinished room that's looking out on the water. She's like, "This would be beautiful." I thought that was weird, because they're on the beach. In both cases, only there's like an incomplete house. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, this view. It's similar to that view where you were 2 seconds ago sitting on the beach. Oh my God, this view would be so nice. It's on the beach.
She also acted like she didn't know what it was. She was like, "What is this you're building over here?" And he was like, "Oh, you want to see that?" And it's just a bunch of studs.
Yeah, it's like 2x4s.
Yeah. That's when that's like when the night they hooked up, right? Or she tried to.
No, they keep teasing, dragging it out.
Didn't they drink tequila? And
the Eastern European husband tells Amy Mann that he's going to the Hamptons, and then he also tells
Claire Danes,
Cameron Diaz, that he's going to the Hamptons too. Right. So they're like, "Fuck, he's got another woman," And so they hop in the car and they drive out to Leslie Mann's brother's house in the Hamptons. So that's how they get there. The reason they're there is because they then discover that the Eastern European guy is hooking up with Kate Upton. So they confront her. Fellas, if you got dragged to this movie by your girlfriend or whatever, here's your reward. Boom. Kate Upton, slow-mo, running down the beach. Right?
White
little
bikini.
White little bikini.
Ass everywhere.
You're thinking like, just for days. Just shake, like when she walks, she breaks
absolutely.
Concrete. That's all I'm gonna say.
Tasteless. Completely objectifying this person.
Yeah, it really is.
And very weird. She barely talks in the movie.
No, and they set it up to where they're like, oh, she's just gonna be, fast and loose, kind of like a not really care about anything.
There's scenes in the movie where the other characters are talking, and she'll just be looking at both of them, and they just have a voiceover of what she's saying, like an outward bound.
Is this her first movie?
You know what I mean?
think it might be her first and only.
I'm still trying to
she's a real sweetheart.
I'm still trying to find Harry Connick Jr.
I think that might have been a trick of my imagination.
But I think there might be a Nick Cassavetes, Harry Connick Jr. connection somewhere, but I don't know.
Yeah, Kate Upton's a real sweetie. She's like, oh God, if I would have known, I would have never, broke this guy off as many times as I did. Again, heavily implied that there was some kind of anal sex involved. They take Kate Upton back to the brother's house, and they just all get fucked up and start just bonding really hard. And that's when the brother, Phil, is I think his name, he gets super, like him and Cameron Diaz have a thing. They both get super fucked up. They end up sleeping in the same bed, but Phil shows that he's a gentleman, builds a little barrier between them to show that he didn't touch her.
That was weird.
Drinking. So he's earned her trust. So this is when they decide to all get revenge on this dude because they're all together, and this is when the movie gets really fucking good because they all just start playing schoolyard pranks on this guy that really are at most inconvenient and maybe embarrassing, but don't actually really do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like they start giving him estrogen, which makes his nipples really big. They put Nair in his shampoo, but his hair doesn't even fall out, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like this shows it falling out in the shower, but then the next scene his hair is fine. The wife puts his toothbrush in the dog's mouth.
Something he wouldn't even know about.
Yeah. And then there's just an absolutely incredible scene where Cameron Diaz puts laxatives in his drink and he goes running to the bathroom holding his ass and high stepping it to the bathroom.
This is something that happens to me 3 times a week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, this isn't even a punishment. This is just, I imagine it's just a normal way of being.
Do you have health insurance, Mike?
I do, but I don't ever use it.
You should go to a doctor.
I don't trust doctors. I honestly don't trust doctors. I don't think they know what they're doing. They're going to tell you to come back. Not. You know what I mean? Or they'll say, I know what it is, and then they'll give you some antidepressants, send you on your way.
Yeah. Doctor, I have diarrhea 3 times a week. Easy, I can't control.
They'll give you a prescription for fentanyl, OxyContin, Xanax,
it's in your head.
And ADHD.
It's all in your
medicine. Head. And they'll say, sprinkle a little bit of this on your kid's meal as well, because it's hereditary. I don't trust any doctors. I'm never going to the doctor again. I think they should be lined up against the wall and just, what to do. Pharmacists too. Anyone profiting from all this, all of them. These are all criminals.
I mean, I for once think that would be a pretty good time if you went to the doctor and they gave you all those different drugs. It would make you feel really good.
I prefer natural stuff. Kratom, CBD, Athletic Greens, MailChimp. Do you guys use MailChimp?
I think I've heard about MailChimp.
I've been using it a lot lately. Do it all with MailChimp. With MailChimp, you get the tools you need to sell your products, reach new customers, and take your business to the next level. It's easy to sign up. Just go to MailChimp.com and start mailing away. Why MailChimp? We're built for growing businesses. Put our marketing and sales tools behind your idea, dream, brand, or business, and we'll help you share it with the world. Award-winning support. Get the help you need whenever you need it with our 24/7 support. 250 app integrations. You can connect your tools to MailChimp and unlock even more features. And a directory of trusted pros. Take your marketing to the next level when you work with a MailChimp partner. 12 billion businesses can't be wrong. Some of those include East Fork, Chronicle Books, Vader, Sweat. To sign up, check out the website. You can grow with MailChimp. You can mail things with MailChimp. You can use apps with MailChimp. You can do it all. The tools you need to sell your products, reach new customers, and take your business to the next level. I do it every day, and I don't regret it for 1 minute, and it made it so easy. I had a problem the other day. These guys have 24/7 support, and I used it, and let me tell you something, guys. It was great. I don't trust doctors, but I use MailChimp.
Sounds like they offer a lot of solutions for small businesses too. That's cool. The guy ends up shitting his pants in the in
like a nice restaurant. Yeah,
it's a fancy restaurant.
Just blows out. You can tell by the sound effects.
Everything is fancy in this movie.
So fancy. Blows out his O-ring. He probably shit out his guts. He's probably extraordinarily dehydrated. He's probably lucky he didn't die. And then they also, Kate Upton's like, I want to have a three-way.
Hold up.
Three-way. She's like, yeah, I want to have a three-way.
Hold up.
Man, like,
dude, the pants.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this guy is on the toilet. Cameron at a fancy restaurant. How embarrassing. And he's just going to the bathroom pretty hard. I want to say Filipino employee comes in. He's like, the Eastern European to the Filipino man is like, hey, I will give you this money. Will you buy me pants? The guy takes his money and just walks away.
Yeah,
then
he robs him.
The next scene is the guy coming home and he's wearing super tight red pants. Amy Mann is like, where'd you get, what happened? What's going on? He's like, honey, I had a fecal incident. She's like, a fecal incident? I never heard of that. And he's like, yeah, I had to buy pants off of a guy on the street. Unfortunately, the only guy I can buy pants off of was a hipster. So he's wearing little tight red pants.
Yeah. Total dig. Class warfare.
I felt singled out in that. I was like, those are pants I would wear. Type pants you guys have seen me wear 100 times.
You've got a whole bunch of those.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I cut you
off, Nathan.
No, that's fine.
I just really wanted to get that in there. And even while I was saying it, I was like, why am I saying this? This isn't even... I guess I just feel lost right now. I don't know what we're doing, but let's just power through and keep it going.
I thought that was a cute throwaway gag, Mike. The pants, so I'm glad you brought it up. Another good one is Kate Upton's like, hey, come here, come a little bit closer. He's like, come a little bit closer to the European guy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I want to have a three-way. He's like, a three-way? I don't know. I'm kind of getting old. I know that's not my thing anymore. She's like, come on. My friend Dana's really hot. She wants to bone you. And he's like, oh, okay. And she's like, Dana, come over. And Dana is a man in a woman's dress who picks him up off the ground and gives him a bear hug. And then the scene cuts away. And it's unclear whether he actually fucks Dana. But I'd like to believe that Dana
missed that completely. That really happened?
Swear to God.
I did not see that. I'm going to go back. I'll go back.
Like among a bunch of like a montage of different like pranks that they're pulling on him.
I feel like I was out of it. I saw him shit his pants, and then the next thing I knew, he was going to the Bahamas or whatever.
So they make him have sex with a man, I think.
A man in a woman's dress. It's not even like a drag queen or anything. It's just straight up a man in a woman's dress. Those are all the ones that I have written down.
Around that time, the friendship group starts wondering what they're doing. Then they realize that this Eastern European guy, who they're all completely dedicating their lives to torturing as well as having sex with at the same time, has
humiliating
offshore businesses in Jamaica. Jamaica, right? Yeah.
Bahamas.
In the Bahamas. And so Amy Mann...
He's stealing money.
He's using it to launder money. Amy Mann, and it's all under Amy Mann's name, according to Cameron Diaz, who has like an elaborate doing all this research. Really interesting point. I think Nathan probably wants to talk about the Bahamas, the entry into Bahamas, and this is about hour 3 into the movie.
Well, so the weird thing of the Bahamas thing, Cameron Diaz was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out. Like, I'm done. Like, this guy can't be a part of my life anymore. And then they like said goodbye to each other. And then the next scene, Cameron Diaz is at the airport with her. And she's like, I'm here. This is weird. I feel like there's something missing Like he cut something out of this movie, something important, because it was made no fucking sense.
That's when she found out that everything was
all right.
Leslie Mann's name. So she's like,
okay,
I got to do something, because she's going to take the fall for all this criminal activity.
Leslie Mann, right?
Leslie.
Yeah. So they all fly out to the Bahamas, and the Leslie Mann and Kate Upton are waiting for. Cameron Diaz and Kate Upton are waiting for Leslie Mann at the airport. And Leslie Mann steps out of the airport. And there's like a group of black people standing around the airport, because it's in the Bahamas. And she like flinches at them like she's scared of them.
Yeah, she's terrified. They're all bumping into her.
They're not even, though. They're just walking by her. Like another like black person walks by her, and she flinches at them too.
This is really the first.
It's just the weirdest
see
fucking
her
thing.
interacting with people that aren't like the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't see her at a
And she's
grocery store or anything. She's terrified of everyone.
She's like an agoraphobic freak who's just absolutely just total spaz.
But wouldn't you want to be
afraid
with
of
someone
black
like
people.
that? That's completely, you're their whole world. They're completely dedicated to you. You know what I mean? What a power trip that must be. Highly erotic situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a dom sub situation.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just trying to stress sexual fantasies out of this. Really trying here. But go on.
So they're all in the Bahamas, and because all these accounts are in Leslie Mann's name, they're like, we're gonna fuck this guy over, and they withdraw all the money from the account, from all his like offshore criminal accounts, and return it back to the people he stole it from, because they suck and they're no fun. And they all confront, and then they get, while they're in the Bahamas, they all get their groove back, and they all end up getting touched up by like local dudes.
Fuck, I feel like I didn't even watch the movie.
Yeah, I remember that.
You don't remember that, Johnny?
I remember that.
Using binoculars to see him with that woman. I was pretty much on my phone. I was on my phone the entire time I was watching it too. So
they're like dancing at a club, and like Cameron Diaz is sweaty as hell, and her and Kate Upton are like at the bar watching Leslie Mann get her groove back with like a hot Caribbean guy.
Yeah, he cracks a coconut open and the juice flies out of it, all over her, and
and all over him too.
Like,
he doesn't have a shirt on.
Yeah, she rips his shirt off, and they're just kind of dancing. Later on, they're on the beach, and she's crying. She's like, "I'm not sure I want to do this," and he's like reassuring her, like, "No, it's cool. Here, things are different. It's not like in America where you guys are from. You know what I mean? Here, you can love freely." He's picking like fruit off of a tree, pops it with his elbow, goes to his hand, squeezes it, trickles down his pants. So the guy's cut. You know what I mean? He's got
like a diamond.
Like a diamond. The guy looks good. And she's like, "Oh yeah." She goes up to him, rubs her hands down his chest. You know what I mean? Down to his pants, and pulls his jeans towards her. And it's a side view of them kissing, and it zooms out, and she's like touching his genitals and stuff, milking it, as Nathan says. She goes down on him on the beach. Kids run by laughing at them, and they run away to like under like a harbor. Okay. Yeah. And
did you notice? I'm just gonna jump in here. Did you notice that he was drooling while she was blowing him? Did you notice that?
Blowjob?
No, she was just like using her hands and stuff, but there was a little bit of drool dripping out of the middle of his mouth, like a baby, like a teething baby. It was very weird, but there was something hot about it. It was just like the blue light on them. Only thing to compare it to was like that erotic scene in Moonlight where the two young boys are making out. So they go under the harbor, and Amy Mann like pushes her legs. She's between two poles of the harbor. It's really crazy and kind of complicated. but she's like making an L shape with her body by like staying vertical with her body. So she's like elevated off the ground. She's like, look what I can do. And he gets in between her legs and they straight up start having sex. You can't see like details, but there's a silhouette of it. You know what I mean? It's at that point it was pretty arousing, I have to say. Like my leg, I was like man spreading on the couch, just kind of like rubbing my chest while watching this. And
you can. What's interesting is you can't see because of the silhouette, but you can hear the slapping.
Yeah, the sound system I have set up in my house. We just reset it up, so I have like this TV, not a big TV, but hooked up to like a stereo system now. So yeah, things were sounding. You could hear it. It's crazy, and the sound tells a different story. So then it cuts, and you can just see that they're like obviously really having sex, and it's just like the rust and emotion in it. It's just so passionate, and I have to admit it was like fairly moving. You know what I mean? It was seeing someone giving into their animal side.
You're seeing somebody
so high strung like the whole movie. You know what I mean? Just so neurotic, terrified people. You just see them breaking through that and becoming free. You know what I mean? It's freedom.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful symbolism of her finally giving in and like succumbing to the fact that it is over with her husband. It's over. It's over, and it's time for her to move on. And she was able to open up in a way to this beautiful, just drop dead gorgeous Caribbean guy, and let him just completely have her.
I would like to say it could have been anyone, but there was definitely something about this guy. He had this young, youthful energy and just lust for life that she just had been missing for so long. Yeah. And it's like, you know, when you get on a plane and you just know, like, you have to go back to your life and they have to go back to their own life when that happens. It's just, there's something so bittersweet about it. And they really captured that in this movie.
Yeah, it was really quite touching. I'm glad they included that. Yeah, so they go back to New York, right? And the three women confront their Eastern European husband in an office building, and he's like, what? One mistress, two mistress, wife? What are you guys doing here? And they're like, the jig is up. We emptied all your money out of your account. You're fucked. The only reason why you're not in jail is because we gave all your money back to this guy you stole it from. And he's like, what? And just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it just turns into like the biggest klutz in the world. He like walks into a wall and like his nose breaks and he's just like bleeding everywhere. And then he walks into the glass wall and his like whole suit. Yeah. And they're just all standing there laughing at him, and his suit gets ripped up. And then he walks into a window and he falls out of the window of this like skyscraper, and his pants get caught on a flagpole, like towards the bottom, and his pants rip off. He's hanging by his underwear. The underwear is tugged, like stretched aside, and his dick and balls are exposed to everybody in the street of New York City. There's a bunch of kids are like running by and jumping up and like swatting at his nutsack and yelling. They're like, Jordan, just tapping his sack. And he sits there and watches while these
Jordan,
these like high school kids are like physically abusing him. He watches like three guys that are come out of a club. It's implied that it's like a gay bar, but they come out and they just start. He has that convertible, you know, and they just strip down and just start fucking inside of his car.
It's so lewd. It's crazy.
Yeah, just you can tell it's really like it just really gets under his skin that he's going to need to get his car redetailed.
This movie sucks.
So I thought that was funny. And then everybody up in the office, they're all laughing and like pointing down at him because he's at the, you know, they're like on the 10th floor or whatever. He's on the bottom floor, and they all just start like dumping whatever they have in their pockets down on him. It's like raining down on him, throwing condiments from the fridge and, pissing on him, stuff like that. And that's happening as the camera is like, zooming out, so it's like part of the transition. It's like into the next scene is like him getting just disrespected by these people.
Then they do that thing like that Animal House ending where they have like, they show the characters and there's text that says like what they did. Amy Mann like owns the company now, is really successful. Cameron Diaz hooks up with the sausage guy. I think Nicki Minaj, I don't know if they say anything for her, but in the very end, who do we see together? Guess, John.
Kate Upton was with.
Yeah.
Who was she with?
Dun, 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 dun.
Think Miami Vice.
Yeah, that's his theme
Oh,
song.
Don Johnson. That's right. Cameron's dad. The
pervert. Yeah, total pervert. It was implied before that he's been fucking all of Cameron Diaz's friends too.
Yeah. I thought it was
weird. Whoa, hold up a second. I'm sorry, go on, John.
No, go ahead.
No, John, go.
When the brother told Cameron Diaz that he thought he was a good guy because he didn't rape her when she was unconscious in his bed.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
Yeah, weird. That's like saying like, I could have murdered you in your sleep, but I never did.
Yeah, like
therefore I'm a good person. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if you're driving a complete stranger, like, just so you know, I could kill us both by just driving straight into a brick wall, but I'm not going to. Doesn't that make me a good person?
Yeah, and she thought it was really sweet of him.
That's really sweet that you're not going to kill me. I could pull a knife on you anytime and just kill you and myself if I wanted to. I think you guys are forgetting a very important part of the movie where it really shows just the dark underbelly of New York City and just how cruel men could be. And that's when Don Johnson takes his daughter and Kate Upton to a place called No Hands. And it's some sort of restaurant where you're not allowed to use your hands instead. I'm assuming they're Asian. I don't really know, but it seems to have imply that it's like some sort of underworld Asian bar where you're massaged by an Asian woman. Oh yeah, and it's called No Hands. You're not allowed to use your hands if you try to grab something. This Asian woman who's been assigned to you will slap your hand, and only they are allowed to feed you and I guess perform sexual favors or something.
Yeah, it's straight up made me think that Don Johnson does like sex tourism in Thailand or something.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Like, how would he know about this place? That's just completely insane.
When did they go to that? That's like before the Bahamas?
That's like 2.5 hours in.
Yeah, before the Bahamas. It's like an hour 2.5. It's like before the Bahamas because they're consulting with Don Johnson on how to.
I got to go back.
Get this guy's money.
I didn't like the movie, but I would definitely watch it over and over again.
It goes down pretty easy.
Only thing to compare it to for me is like Tree of Life or like one of the Cremaster movies.
It definitely has a Terrence Malick vibe to it.
Key elements of this movie are just torturing this guy, but also having sex with him repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's the best of both worlds. I don't know if women find this guy attractive or not. I don't really know. He kind of okay. So I don't know. That seems to be the core fantasy of the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the pranks for me also imply like teen.
Oh, but you're also friendship.
Fantasy.
Yeah, but also the sleepover.
Yeah, it's like friendship, sleepovers, pulling pranks on people. Like, it's very adolescent fantasy.
But just through one of the most twisted, demented minds.
Yeah,
Hollywood has ever produced.
There's a scene like a kind of like a throwaway scene where all three women stop having sex with him. So he's like backed up, and he hasn't gone that long without sex in a long time. So he still thinks that like phone sex exists. So he's going through the phone book, just like look, because they don't really have phone sex anymore. At least I don't think they do. So he's going through the phone book, just like calling people, seeing if they'll talk to him, talk dirty to him while he jacks off.
Mm-hmm.
And
what are they saying?
You saw the movie. It's he calls like a Chinese food restaurant.
Yeah.
And they're like talking to him, asking what he wants to order. And he's, there's no communication there. He ends up talking to somebody who's trying to sit down for dinner and they're yelling at their kids. And it's just a bunch of near misses. He doesn't even end up coming, which is the part of like the torture part, They're just putting him in these really desperate situations where he has to do all sorts of crazy things to come, and he just can't just get it right. He's just like a absolute buffoon.
I feel like
fumbling oaf.
I feel like I could rope in a lot of different situations. Some normal conversations I find extremely erotic.
I just found a website, some woman that is tracking down all the shooting locations of the other woman. That's insane.
How come?
That's someone getting lost in the movie.
She just loved the movie. So she went to New York. Looks like she went to the restaurant where they filmed the no touching scene. Couple other spots. Fucking weird.
This is one of those movies that like Domestic Disturbance, like it seems like it could have been made between 2002 and the present. And you don't know when it actually came out.
Mike, you're kind of a insider, Hollywood insider. You've done some acting and hear a lot of things.
Writing, yeah,
writing, acting, directing. Have you did you hear anything in the rumor mills about Cassavetes or any of the actors in this picture during filming? Like any hot nuggets that our listeners might be interested in?
Cassavetes is addicted to tattoos. So I heard
Nick is?
Yeah, Nick. I heard a rumor that he wanted everyone to get tattoos. I don't know if there's
Cam's not going for that.
No, none of them are. They're all clean. Maybe some of the crew guys did. Let me think about this movie. I know Nick Cassavetes likes to after shoots wine and dine like every night. There's probably a lot of fun on set where they would go to Spago or Guy Fieri or something like that. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just trying to make stuff up. So I really don't know. I wish I had something for you. I got to admit, you caught me in a lie. I'm just making stuff up.
He does have a lot of tattoos.
He does. He has a lot of tattoos. A lot of this fucking hand tattoo is so bizarre. It's like he's in the mafia.
Seems like a he seems like a Venice kind of guy.
Well, is this his fucking back tattoo?
What is it? A demon?
It's like Jesus on the cross.
Hey, check this out. I'm going to share my screen. Show you guys something. This is Nick Cassavetes after working out. This is before. Nice. This is after.
A great body.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those veins.
And so in the before picture, it's him with a big old gut holding a gigantic beach ball, looking very confused and irritated, possibly backed up.
He looks unhappy.
Very unhappy. In the next picture, it's him sitting back on a yacht, looking absolutely shredded, 6-pack abs, veins bulging out, calves for days, looks extremely happy and relaxed, has a backwards baseball hat of some kind. Very cool. Like a generic NFL insignia hat, and sunglasses. He's got all his teeth. Very, very huge transformation. You can tell not only did he lose a bunch of weight and get in shape, but his quality of life is better. Legendary movie director, producer, actor, writer Nick Cassavetes, before and after pictures and patient testimonial from Genomedics. At the age of 60, I look and feel better than I ever have in my entire life. Switching my health program and hormone replacement therapy regimen over to Genomedics was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Genomedics and Dr. George have significantly improved my quality of life and also dramatically improved my overall health. I have lost over 70 pounds of fat and gained over 20 pounds of muscle, and I am still noticing improvements. I have better energy, sex drive, mood, concentration, focus, and sleep than I have ever had in my life. Over the last 20 years, I've used doctors who many people consider to be the best in Hollywood and Beverly Hills had to offer. Although many of my peers in the entertainment industry keep Dr. George and genomedics as their hidden secret, I believe that he should get the recognition he deserves for being the best and the best in the industry. All of my friends, some being the most famous and celebrated people in the movie entertainment industry, have also discovered Dr. George, and they also rave about how amazing his protocols and services are and how much he has made such a huge positive impact on their lives. Thank you for all you have done for me, Dr. George and genomedics. I will be a patient for life. So genomedics, there you have it, does wonders. John Cassavetes is a walking, living, breathing example. He looks absolutely gorgeous at the age of 60. Can't keep this guy down.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that he's the same guy that made all those movies in like the 70s and stuff like that with Columbo. It's amazing. He looks like a German booze hound on the left. On the right, he looks like a guy ready to lift weights on the beach of Venice.
Yeah, he's popping. There's a lot of his tattoos.
No, go down by his... Scroll down, Nathan. You can all see the outline of his penis.
Can you see it? It looks like it's kind of in a nubbed situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got old chub. But see this tattoo of this like skeleton?
Yeah.
You know, that was probably an important tattoo. That was one of the ones that I would have to imagine that he got during the filming of this movie. It's basically like a skeleton raising his hands up like in a puppet master pose.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, zoom out again. Let me see his old body. So he had a few tattoos when he was big. Then he got really inked up when he lost all the weight.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
He wanted to show it off.
You mentioned before, Mike, that his dad wasn't respected in Hollywood. How'd you hear that? What made you say that?
Just I look at Twitter a lot. I'm a bit of a movie head myself, but not by any means a professional movie academic or anything like that. But I've been around the block a couple of times. I used to go to rental places that had rare movies like Italian stuff. So a lot of erotic stuff. That's kind of where I got like my foundation in erotic stuff. A lot like a lot of your classic like 90s alt movie guys. You know what I mean? I would be like that. You've heard of like Kevin Smith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kevin Smith, guys like that. Other directors, Nick Cassavetes is amongst them. So, I get wind of a lot of movie stuff through the internet, Twitter, just like reading like Wikipedia and stuff like that. So I'm by no means an academic, professional, astrologer, film, or anything like that. I just study casually, you know what I mean? I'm a weekend warrior. You can probably ask some other heads out there that could probably lay it down harder for you, give you more facts, but...
So you don't know why he wasn't respected?
Probably, if I had to judge, I would say a lot of the times people aren't respected because they're either misunderstood or they don't want to be respected. I feel like I'm a little bit of both of those things. You know what I mean? And why I'm not respected a lot of the time is because people misunderstand my intentions. They think, hey, this guy's on guard, this guy's sweaty, this guy, he's rude, he has too many opinions, he doesn't agree with everything I say, he doesn't give me what I want, he's not trying to promote the liberal agenda, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. He says doctors are bad, he doesn't think there's anything wrong with the storming of the White House, he thinks maybe AOC's maybe not on the level, so the political stuff like that. It's bringing up politics is rude, yet I can't not bring it up all the time. So things like that can cost you a lot of respect, but that's your truth. You know what I mean? So maybe this John guy was a lot like that too.